Ever have that friend who was really cool that everyone just shits on for no reason? Yeah, Nintendo really wanted everyone to treat their follow-up to the Wii that way. From 2008 to 2011, Nintendo was the king in the console market for literally everyone, because everyone had 32 Wiis and everyone loved them. Not to mention everyone owned 95 DS and 78 3DS systems each. So Nintendo could essentially do no wrong. So when it was announced at E3 in 2011 that there was going to be a follow-up to the Wii, people were understandably excited. Or were they actually more, confused? Because what exactly is going on in this trailer? They show off a Mario game that doesn't look too different from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and they never really show the Wii U console itself and focus mainly on the gamepad. And with this, people tended to believe the Wii U was less of its own system and actually just an accessory for the Wii they already had. And this was Nintendo's first in a long line of mistakes. This was such a huge mistake that in 2012, they had to re-reveal the Wii U to make sure people knew it wasn't just an accessory, and that it was actually their next major system. But as all of us know now, it didn't work. So in late 2012, we see the release of the Wii U, coming in two separate models. One white model with only 8 gigs of storage, and then a deluxe model coming in a sleek, glossy black that will never not have 1,000 fingerprints on it. But this model had a whopping 32 gigs on it, which, while nothing now, was somewhat passable in 2012, but even then, the 8 gig model was practically useless. But here's the kicker with these models. The white one was $300, and the deluxe was $350. $350 for something that many people just saw as an accessory? Yeah, the Wii U was not marketed well. You know, it seems like Microsoft didn't learn from the Wii U's failure, as Microsoft announced the Xbox One as a sort of media-based system that could play games. And in this trailer for the Wii U, it seems to be trying to do the same thing. They kept pushing the fact that it could do online video chatting similar to Skype or FaceTime that I don't think anyone used except for the Nintendo employees themselves. And even if you wanted to try it now, the service has since been discontinued, and I'm not even sure if there's any homebrew out there to get it back up and running. But a quick Google search could prove me wrong. Nintendo wasn't only pushing for this FaceTime thing, but they also were pushing the streaming services you could use in the Wii U, which, while awesome additions to any system, should not be the focal points of reveal trailers and ads, as I see that as more of a bonus to a great gaming system rather than an upfront necessity. But I guess these were all how Nintendo was trying to market the Wii U based off of its name.
We knew the prevailing thought would be this. Yes, the game will probably still be right for all of us, but could it also be a perfect fit just for you?
They kept reiterating that the system was built for you, and that each person's system would be tailored to their own needs and wants, which, while a cool concept, I don't really see how any of their headlining features made the system specified to you more than a 3DS or DSi. This all just combines to display the poor marketing that plagued the Wii U, and just led to its inevitable demise. I mean, just look at the ads. They only put emphasis on the gamepad, and the games in the ads were always something that was either very similar to a Wii game, or something that most saw as what could be a Wii game. Not to mention, these ads are just horrible, and the fact that they are just... well, let me just play a bit of one to show you.
Whoa. I look good.
Look at that. Yeah, I look like I've been upgraded.
Wasn't that great? Doesn't that make you want to pay $350 for a Wii U? Well, not many people wanted to either, with the total sales numbers for the Wii U being an atrocious 13.5 million, which is insanely low compared to the previous Wii's 101 million, as it is the 7th best selling console of all time, and the PS5 has already outsold the Wii U in less than 2 years. But the first week wasn't as bad with the Wii U, selling 400,000 units in its first week as opposed to the Wii's 600,000 in the first week, which isn't too bad. So why did the Wii U lose this momentum within a month of the system being released? Well, to start off, it was released at a pretty unfortunate time. November 2012 in North America and PAL territories, and December in Japan was just right at the end of the 7th generation of consoles, and some consider the Wii U to be the first 8th gen console. Yet this causes an issue with it having comparable performance to the 360 and PS3, which was fine for the year it was released, but the Xbox One and PS4 were only a year away. This meant that most third-party developers were putting their efforts into making games for those systems, and not something with dated hardware, especially with how hard it was to develop for, and while it did have comparable graphics to the other consoles, those being the PS3 and Xbox 360, it did have an underpowered CPU. Basically, the Wii U was left stranded, with its only supporter being the company that made it. So this meant that Nintendo had to step up their game in terms of first-party game development for the system. And oh boy did they. The Wii U has some of Nintendo's best titles, and nobody ever played them until they got ported to the Switch for $60 years after they came out. Makes sense. Some of these standout titles for the system were Mario Kart 8, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Super Smash Bros. 4, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD, Splatoon, Captain Toad, Mario Maker, Mario 3D World, and even Breath of the Wild made it to the Wii U. And it still looks and runs just about as good as the Switch version. But all of these games take great advantage of the Wii U's defining feature, the gamepad, and oh do I love this thing. The whole thing is so meaty and the buttons are huge and comfortable to press, with the whole package just melting right into my hands, which means I can play it for hours without cramping. Some have complained about the gamepad screen, but I think it's totally serviceable and honestly looks great, especially when you're playing virtual console games. So with all these great games, why did the Wii U still fail to sell? Mainly due to what I believe as a lack of exposure and maybe a bit of ignorance. This time period of around 2013 to 2016, many people were fine with their big multiplayer titles, and Nintendo was seen as sort of just a kids company, which overall led to the Wii U being seen as a joke of a system to many people, as people continue to shit on it to this very day, for reasons I can't quite comprehend. You've got some great first-party titles, some of the best Nintendo has ever put out, a handful of great third-party titles, and the best virtual console we'd seen yet. Oh, the virtual console on the Wii U. It's just perfect. Not only do you have all the consoles from the Wii's virtual console, but also GBA and DS. And let me tell you, playing Aria of Sorrow in HD on my Wii U is a dream. And you can even change the controls and use your own checkpoints, because not all these games are easy. I mean, I beat Metroid Zero Mission and Fusion on here as my first Metroid titles, so I needed those checkpoints, and the Wii U made the experience just that much more comfortable to jump into. With the virtual console on the Wii U, you didn't just get the games and quick save features. Nintendo also took the time to put in that Nintendo charm they were so known for prior to 2017, and decided to add the manuals and front and back of the box art for each individual game. Now this is something that is a super awesome novelty, as many of these titles for the GBA, SNES, and NES all came in cardboard boxes, which were bound to be destroyed, and without a box for the case and manual, the manuals were also likely to be lost with time, or simply just thrown away. So having these included digitally, it's impossible to lose, and it's always there at a moment's notice. Thanks prior to 2017 Nintendo, we miss you. Please come back, and add music to the Switch home screen and eShop. Thank you so much. So you have decades worth of games in the virtual console, the Wii U's own catalog of games, but not only those games, but the entire Wii library is also playable, now in HD. I can play Wii Sports Resort on my gamepad. This is literally the closest we've gotten to a portable Wii Sports until Switch Sports comes out. Or maybe it has already come out by the time this video is being uploaded. But still, this is just magical to me. So all these games are great, but the Wii U has some untapped potential with full GameCube compatibility baked into it too. That was sadly never unlocked and just left as a fun fact. Until the homebrew community got to it, of course! Oh yes, I can play GameCube games on my modded Wii U, and it is amazing. The Wii U may be objectively the best Nintendo console, as it can play literally every generation before it. And now they're shutting down its eShop, along with the eShop of my favorite Nintendo system, the 3DS, in late 2023. But fear not, as once again, Homebrew has your back. And if you would like to learn about how to tap into the full potential of your Wii U and 3DS systems, I will have links in the description for those of you who wish to do so. Sorry folks, but I'm going to interrupt things for a bit here to talk about what might be my favorite topic when it comes to consoles, the menu. I'll also take a moment here to discuss the eShop as well. The Wii U has a menu that I can only describe as clean. This is an amazing menu with some super creative elements to it when you look up at the TV screen to see your Mii along with hundreds of other Miis in the plaza. All while the smooth ambience plays in the background. I mean, I could fall asleep to this every night. I love it that much. It's got this amazing grid form to it, where you can also make folders if you maybe wanted to put the games of certain consoles together and so what. It all just comes together to form a very familiar menu, as it isn't too far off from the Wii menu. But wait, isn't that the Wii menu right there? So not only can you play the Wii games, but you had access to the Wii's own shop channel and amazing menu and channels. But from the Wii U's menu, you can access the best thing Nintendo's ever made, Miiverse. which has met the inevitable fate of every other Nintendo service in that it was shut down in 2017. But Miiverse was Nintendo's take on social media. a social media platform centered around the games you could play on the Wii U and 3DS, and I promise you that I will make a whole video about Miiverse in due time because it deserves it. Now on to the eShop. The Wii U eShop had some incredible music that would rotate during different times of the year, and I've been using several of those songs throughout this video as they are just that good. The Wii U's eShop had a lot of different sections divided amongst several virtual console and new releases and so on. It's very similar to the eShop we have on the 3DS, just scaled up a little bit, but with all the same charm at the 3DS eShop. Overall, the Wii U has an amazing menu in eShop that I'm sad to see go in the coming year, but it will never be forgotten. Now back to the rest of the video. With the Wii U having such poor sales numbers, it was discontinued worldwide on January 31st in 2017, with its last title being The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and what a title to go out with. While the Wii U was a failure commercially and financially, it isn't a failure to the fans, at least not in my eyes, as it gave us amazing titles for its 4 years on the market, and was an important stepping stone in the production of the Switch. Because, come on, look at it. You can't tell me the Switch isn't just an upgrade of the Wii U. Although I do think the Wii U's concept is way cooler, yet less practical at times. I still use my Wii U fairly frequently for just about any game prior to the PS3, as it plays them all and so well at that. So I can honestly recommend that if you have a Wii U, pull it out of the closet, dust it off, and play some classic Mario Kart 8, because it is still damn good. And if you don't have a Wii U and you're thinking about picking one up, then I'd act fast, as the prices are only going up, with them sitting at around $200 right now with the gamepad. And you're gonna need that gamepad. I just picked up my Wii U within the last year, and I don't regret it at all, as since the day it arrived, it is set next to me on my desk so I can grab the gamepad and play some GBA at a moment's notice. Thank you all so much for watching and being here with me today. I really hope y'all found some enjoyment or maybe learned something new today. Or at least you didn't feel like you wasted your time. So if you did enjoy, please hit the like button and leave a comment, as it really does help boost this channel, as I am a growing channel. And with all that being said, thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great day.